welcome to Glow Up with Shelly. In today's video, I'm going to be playing with a new palette I got. I'm super excited. I got this palette a few weeks ago. I haven't had a chance to shoot a video with it yet, but it is the Italian Spritzer from Too Faced. This is a spring palette. I'm excited to be playing with this palette today. It has some beautiful spring colors and we're going to be playing around with some of these today. So I'm excited to do this tutorial and to play with this palette. So let's get started. If you're wondering about my hair, I'm absolutely loving it. I've been trying these new ceramic thermal rollers. They're kitsch rollers and these retail for $14. They're super cheap, but they give me tons of volume, almost like I had a blowout. And what I do is I just roll the upper sections of my hair. So I'll have to show you how to do that in a video because I am just loving this kind of 80s glam supermodel hair look that I've got going on. And I think it almost makes me look like I had a blowout. So it is just, I'm just loving the volume that I get from those curlers. And they're not expensive at all. So super excited. I'll have to do a video of those. Remember, this channel's all about glowing up, transformative skincare, flawless makeup, and a lifestyle to match. If that resonates with you, hit subscribe. Don't forget to ring the notification bell. I want you to know when I post future videos. Okay, so I'm so excited to be playing around with this palette, guys. It is beautiful. So this palette has a beautiful color story, lots of spring colors, some blues, some like fiery oranges, pinks, and peaches. I love this pop of purple. And you've got these beautiful like purpley pinks here too, this mauve color. So this is just a gorgeous palette. And one of the things that I really like about this palette is how they kind of line up some of the complementary colors. You could certainly use that as a template for doing your eyeshadow. So if you're trying to find color combinations, the colors that are kind of directly on top of each other are going to work really nicely together. Okay, so keep that in mind. You can also just kind of play around with the whole palette. We are going to be concentrating on these colors. I think I'm going to bring in a little bit of that in the corner of my eye as well. And we're going to play around with that blue. So I wanted to try these blues and the peaches together. So we're going to do that. Add a little bit of the mauve and we'll see how the look turns out. I'm excited. I do want to play with this in another video though, and maybe bring in some of the light blue to go with that. So I think I'm gonna have to do that in another video because I really want to play with that beautiful blue color. I've been kind of swatching them out a little bit and they are gorgeous, gorgeous colors. So let's have fun. I'm excited for this video. Okay, so I've got all my brushes. I am so ready to start this video. I'm excited. So I'm gonna take kind of a fluffy brush. It's like a medium size fluffy brush. And I just wanna take some of that holy cannoli. I'm gonna take a little bit on my brush, tap off the excess, and I'm going to go ahead and start getting that crease color going. As I'm doing this, I'm just concentrating that color right in the crease and kind of at the corner of my eye. And I like to kind of go up in the brow bone with my transition color, just kind of swipe it all over that crease, corner, and brow bone. And that just gives a nice palette transition to kind of get us going. That has some nice pigment to it. I really love Too Faced eyeshadow. I don't think that all of their palettes have the same formulas in them though. I think some of their palettes are a little bit cheaper than others. This is definitely, their full-size palettes are great. I'm not really a fan of their smaller palettes, but I do love Too Faced. Okay, so now that I have my transition color on, I'm gonna go in with Toasted in Tuscany. And that's that color right underneath. So it's this color right here. So I started with Holy Cannoli and then now I'm going to Toasted in Tuscany. And I pick up a little bit on my brush and I just tap off the excess and I'm just gonna go in right over that Holy Cannoli. I'm just loving this You know, guys, this is really nicely blendable. It's really nice and buttery. Eyeshadow primer helps, so make sure that you have an eyeshadow primer on when you do your eyeshadow. Not only is it gonna help your eyeshadow stay all day, but it's also gonna help with blendability. And don't put any concealer or anything like that on your eyes. I usually get a little tiny bit of concealer on my eyes, but I don't put much on there. I would rather go in with some color, even if it's like a flesh color, rather than put a bunch of stuff on my eyes that's gonna make my eyeshadow, you know, not stay or stick in weird ways. Okay, so the Toasted in Tuscany is on there, and I'm just going to go in with another swipe to deepen that color right along the crease and the brow bone. I'm just loving how beautiful that eyeshadow blends. Oh, that's just so nice, isn't it? It's so pretty. I want kind of a flat brush. I'm gonna take this one here. This is an MOTD brush as well. It's called Pigment Packer. And we are going to go into that color Lake Como, that really blue color. And we are going to put that kind of, what, 1/3 of our eye. And this one's a little bit more sheer, and that's okay because it's kind of an inner corner color anyway, so it doesn't need to be too dramatic. You can always pack it up, get a little extra color if you want. And I'm just putting a very, like, little bit, like right there on that very front part of my eye, just to where my eyeball begins, just right there on that inner corner, right there. See that? We're gonna play with the beautiful Lake and Bake color. It's just gorgeous. Let me swatch this out for you. It is just such a pretty color. And if you see the way these kind of, I just want to show you on my hand. Look at how beautiful those look. Just gorgeous. And we are going to be going in with that Lake and Bake, and we are going to put it right here on this kind of inner part of our eye, just up to the corner. And before we do that though, I do want to take a corner brush. This is a really nice kind of angled brush. I really like getting the outer corners of my eyes with this brush. And we're gonna go into this gorgeous color right here. This is called Mamma Mia. And we're gonna take this and we're gonna punch it like just on the outside corner of our eyes. I just don't want it blending too much with the blue. Look at how that's a beautiful like purple red color. Wow, that has some pigment. We're gonna deepen that up a lot. And I'm gonna go into the other side on the other corner and just really pack that color on there. Just on the outer corner of my eye. And then I'm gonna kind of sweep just a little bit into that transition. And don't worry about it being perfect. We will go clean this up with our blending brushes. So now that I have that kind of on the outer corner, we are going to go in with just kind of a fun, no color on it blending brush, and we're just gonna blend that red into those transition colors. And it's almost like a cream to color, like a cream formula, which is a little bit different than Too Faced usually does. This red, I've seen other people have trouble blending this, and I can see why. It's more of like the Natasha Denona cream colors. So when you use this, you may have to use like your blending brush. You may have to use a short blending brush and then add a little bit more pigment as you blend this, because it's not gonna blend very well. So you'll want to use like a fluffy brush and then just grab a little bit of pigment to blend it up into the other colors. That's going to help you blend it better. And you know, as someone who does eyeshadow a lot, I know that not everybody does, especially if you don't, you know, play around with eyeshadow a lot. That's why I try to give these little helpful tips when I'm doing these tutorials. So cream colors are going to be a little bit harder to blend, but look at how beautiful that red blends into the Toasted in Tuscany color. It just blends really nicely into that orange. Okay, so now that we have our corner colors on, we're going to go in with our Lake and Bake. That's that really bright color. And I'm taking that MOTD Pigment Packer brush again. And sometimes I use my fingers. It kind of depends on how creamy the eyeshadow is. This eyeshadow is so creamy. I don't think we're gonna have trouble with this one. So I'm just packing that kind of on the lid. That color has a pop. Wow. So I'm gonna use my finger because it's a little bit harder to blend it. So I'm just gonna kind of press it with my finger onto only my lid space. That is some gorgeous color. Now the only thing is, because it's that creamy, it's kind of a creamy consistency, it's gonna be a little bit harder to kind of blend in with the eyeshadow next to it, but we're gonna give it a go. We're gonna see how it works. So I have that on the lid, and now I'm gonna take my MOTD fluffy brush, this one right here, and I'm just going to go back into that Lake and Bake color, and I'm gonna kind of try to blend that blue out just a bit. Oh wow, that's so pretty. And then I'm taking that red again, that Mamma Mia. I'm just kind of popping it in the corner, and it's almost like a purple mauve, so it gives it like this kind of purple kind of look. So pretty. You could even blend the yellow into this as well, and it would be so pretty. And I'm just kind of blending that blue so it's not too harsh. This is such a bold eyeshadow look. Okay, so now that we have that blue on there, look how pretty that is. I'm going to go ahead and take some more of that light blue, the Lake Como, just to kind of try to lighten up the front part. Look at how pretty that is. I almost wonder if we should go into the inner corner with like a brown, kind of just darken it up a little bit and give it a little bit more pop. The red is pretty, but we're gonna try for the Gelato. That's that brown color. And we're just going to kind of, yeah, that's really pretty. I kind of like the brown better. And I'm going to blend it into that blue. But we still have that really pretty red color underneath. And I'm just mimicking on the other side. Just kind of tones down the shock value of the eyeshadow look. Fun colors are great for occasion. I don't wear stuff like this. It's like really bold for like work. I've got an angled brush, and I'm going to take some of that orange color, the Lake and Bake, and I'm going to put it underneath my eyes. And I kind of like to like really kind of pack it like kind of wider underneath the lighter colors, as I kind of go in with the darker color on top. And then I'm going to take a thinner angled brush. So this is a much thinner one, and I'm going to take that Gelato. Actually, first I'm going to take the Mamma Mia and get some of that red in a little line right there to kind of mimic what we did above. And then I'm going to take that Gelato, the brown, and I'm just going to kind of swipe it along there. And it gives us this really pretty like red brown look. Almost like a purple brown. Really pretty. And I'm just lining that bottom right there, and I always sweep it kind of up. And don't worry, I'll go in and clean all this up with but I just like to give it more of a lifted look. If I kind of pull it up like that, it does. And I always clean it up a little bit on the sides once I'm done with my eyeshadow look. Now I want to take a little bit of that blue, the Lake and Bake, and I want to put it on the bottom as well. And I'm just putting it kind of like the inner corner area. Okay, now I'm gonna take my like inner corner brush right here. This is a brush from Beauty for Real. And I'm gonna take that Lake Como, that really light blue color. I'm gonna put it a little bit on that brush, and I'm just going to kind of go in to the inner corner with it. Wow, that just pops. And I'm going to clean that up with some concealer so it's not too like all along the eye. It just gives it a little bit of color. Wow, that just pops off the eye. So pretty. And then I'm going to take a clean fluffy brush, and I'm just going to kind of swipe along and blend that color up into the brow bone. And kind of fan this up to kind of get that blue. And then I'm going to take my brush and kind of clean up the top of it where my brow bone is, just kind of cleaning up the brow bone. You're going to see what I'm going to do here in a second. And I pretty much always do this. I think with like every eyeshadow look I do, I just clean up around the brow bone. And now I'm going to take another fluffy brush, and this is again by Beauty for Real. And I'm going to take that, I'm sorry, the brown I was using was called Espresso Yourself, and I've been calling it Gelato. Gelato is the peach, the kind of my skin tone color, this like light, super light color. And I'm just going to take a little bit of that, and I'm going to put it like kind of on my brow bone. That's going to adhere to that concealer really nicely and give us a clean base to go in and blend it with. Okay, now I'm going to take that same brush, and I'm going to put just a little bit more of that Toasted in Tuscany color, and I'm just very lightly sweeping it along where the rest of that eyeshadow is, and I'm blending it up and out in like little circular motions. That is absolutely gorgeous, guys. And now I'm gonna take another fluffy brush, and I'm just, it doesn't have any color on it, I'm just blending out harsh lines. That red with the peaches and the brown is just gorgeous. Okay, I'm gonna do the same on the other side. I'm gonna take some more of that Holy Cannoli. I'm sorry, it's Holy Cannoli I'm using, not Toasted in Tuscany. I'm using that very light transition color. And I'm just putting a little on my brush, tapping off the excess, and then going in to that line area and just kind of blending in out any lines from where I did the concealer. And then I'm taking a clean brush with no product on it, and I'm just going back in and blending into my brow bone very lightly in little circular motions. And having a clean brush to do some of your blending with is super important, because you're not going to get those colors to mix, and therefore they won't get muddy. The worst thing is to do an eyeshadow look like this where you're using vibrant colors and then they just get muddy. So using several brushes, having them clean is something that can help that. Now you can get brushes for relatively cheap on Amazon that are just as good as brushes that you buy at like Ulta or Sephora. I really do love certain brushes a lot. I really do like the Beauty for Real brushes are great. MOTD is great. The Sephora Professional brand is also great. I also have Do Care brushes. They're a super cheap Amazon brand that they make really nice quality brushes. Some of the brushes, I have to admit, you have some hairs that can kind of come out a little bit here and there from those. But for the most part, these are really great brushes too. And I think huge set of like 40 brushes cost me like $19. So don't think that you have to spend a lot of money. Okay, that's kind of my like That's kind of my motto. I like try to tell you this. Don't spend a lot of money. It's nice to invest in high quality brushes, but you can do that over time. You can buy some Amazon brushes that will be just fine to achieve the looks that you want to achieve without having to spend a ton of money. And you can just buy, you know, higher quality brushes as you go along. So there you have the eyeshadow look. It is gorgeous. I'm going to go and finish the rest of my makeup. I'm going to do my brows. I'm going to powder, and then I'm going to do my lashes, and I'll come back and we'll see what the finished look looks like. So here you have it. I finished my brows, I powdered, I put a nice, beautiful nude lipstick on, and I'm wearing my MAC high gloss lip glass, I think it's what it's called. It's in the nude color, and it's one of my favorites. I've had this lip gloss for a long time. I just love it. And when you have really bold eyeshadow, it's nice to do a very neutral lipstick with it. So I have that MAC on, it's the lip glass. And then I also have NYX lip pencil in natural. And this is a really cheap lip pencil. I think it's like maybe $3, $4. I'll link all of these in the description box. This is a little pricier. It's MAC. I don't think it's too expensive though, $27 I think. The Too Faced Italian Spritz palette retails for $52. So this is a beautiful palette. It has a gorgeous color story. And as you can see, we used the peachy oranges, blue, red, and brown to create this look. So I hope you liked it. You know, I always enjoy doing eyeshadow tutorials. So I'll see you next time on Glow Up with Shelly.